What is going on, guys? Today, I am joined by my buddy Gannon, who you may not have heard of. He's a little bit smaller of a channel in the anime community, and anime community might not even be the best term because he does a lot of different shit, which is a good and bad thing. I try to urge people to kind of center in on something smaller, but at the same time, he kind of gives something for everyone, because he has so many different topics he likes to talk about. Definitely a really, really good channel that I would recommend to anyone that likes my content. In my opinion, honestly, I've been saying this for years at this point. His videos are basically mine, except significantly better edited and probably more high effort, so someone I would 100% recommend. I definitely think you should check him out. Of course, the link to his channel is going to be in the description, and he is, like I just said, going to be in this video, so if you like anything he said, he's probably going to say some dumb shit, but, you know, just take the good thing that he says, take those, and then be like, yeah, all right, you know what, I'm okay with that, I'm going to do that, and maybe he won't say any stupid shit in the videos on his actual channel, too. So, speaking of the devil, my buddy Gannon, introduce yourself, please.
Okay. Yeah, alright, well, yeah, I'm Gannon, and I do have a lot of different things on my channel, just because I'm so ambitious. And I might say some stupid shit once in a while, but definitely not as much stupid shit as Fronky spews out on a daily basis. But,
hang on a second.
With that being said, please, I'm fiending for subscribers. I'm fiending for any attention. Please, if you want to go check out my channel, if you like anything you see in this discussion or anywhere, please, I'd be very flattered if you were to go check it out. But yeah, that's basically me. I do anime content, I do cooking content, I do vlogs, I talk about things going on in pop culture, and I'm really into science fiction and Star Trek, so if any of those things interest you, please, I'd be very appreciative if you can go give my channel a look. But with all that being said, again, why don't we get the ball rolling, Fronky? What are we talking about today?
Yeah, alright, so I'm actually really excited about this, because what we're finally fucking gonna be talking about on this goddamn channel is Fire Force, okay? Now, so when Fire Force first came out, I remember I had heard about it a week or two before the seasonal started coming out that it was a part of, and I was like, okay, that's a decent title, I'll give that a shot. I watched 6 or 7 episodes, and then I dropped the series. I was like, okay, I don't really give a shit anymore. And then, you know, a few more episodes came out, and there was nothing else that I was watching, so I was like, okay, let's see what's going on in Fire Force. And I picked it up a little bit more, and I was watching it weekly. And then, out of nowhere shit just got crazy. Like, it got so good. Everything about it, the animation, the storytelling, the voice acting, honestly got significantly better. Everything about the entire production just got so good, so fucking good, that one of the newer characters that's introduced at the point that I'm talking about is who I'm actually going to go as Halloween this year. So,
are you doing a show?
I'm going a show, absolutely, 100%. It's coming. I'm gonna dye my hair. I already ordered contacts.
You still dress up for Halloween, you little baby?
Well, I work at a corporate job now.
Okay,
and we have Halloween parties, so I have to do. And now that I am a full-grown man, I have to hand out candy.
Oh.
And how lame would it be if I wasn't in a costume?
Okay.
So it's gonna be.
To be real with you, dude, you'll probably get bitches if you dress up as show.
Of course, right?
I mean, dude, Show's cold as ice. He's cold as ice. He's the world. He's the world.
Well, I mean, that is actually kind of a reference. But, yeah. So, we're talking about Fire Force because I have been caught up for about a year now to the parts that I thought were awesome, and it's just continued to be pretty good since Season 2 came out. And I've had no one to fucking talk to about it because it's not that popular of a show, to be completely honest, and none of my friends watch it, and finally, I got Gannon to watch it, despite him being reluctant and talking shit for the parts that were totally reasonable to talk shit while he was watching through. But no, he finally caught up, and he agrees it's pretty good. So we just want to talk about it a little bit.
Okay, real quick, let me say something.
Yes.
I actually, during the time that we were recording this video, I just uploaded a review of Fire Force on my channel, and I put a pretty provocative title. I said, Fire Force...
As you do.
I said the Fire Force anime was shit. And that's true. It was shit. Because this anime is kind of bad up until a certain point. It's like legitimately mediocre. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I've already gotten 2 dislikes on the video because fuckers don't want to watch things. And this is so true. This is the weirdest phenomenon. But this anime is so stellar, but only after a certain point.
God.
Like, it definitely requires a certain level of diligence and patience from the viewer. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have to sit through the first 16 episodes, and the first 10 are dead-ass like a chore. Be real with you.
Oh, yeah.
But then when you get to that part... And by the way, this is going to be full of spoilers. What we're talking about, this is going to be full of fucking spoilers. So when they get to this certain point, actually, the threshold for me to when this anime got good, and I mentioned it in my review, Fronky, is when Dr. Giovanni shows up when they go to try to retrieve Vulcan. That is the point for me, when this anime gets so fucking hype after that, and then, what really follows is what makes everything good, and that is the trip to the Nether. The first bit of world building we get.
Right. And there's honestly a lot more that we need to learn about the Nether based on the more recent episodes. Apparently, there's a lot more that we don't know about it.
Oh,
so
for sure.
That's interesting, because I thought it was just like a little cave, but no, apparently it's like a whole nother world,
definitely,
which is
just
fair based on the name.
It's definitely just like old Tokyo, like the old underground Tokyo. Like, it seems like there's this entire giant like subway system, like an entire another place down there. It's incredibly massive, and I legitimately just watched the last episode, I think an hour before we started recording this, when Joker and Shinmon actually go and visit the Nether under the Soul Temple, and you get an even bigger impression of just how vast it is. And that's one of the biggest problems with the first part of the series, is that the introduction is so weird and weak, and then the world building, which is actually stellar. It's, if I can compare it to something, right, it's super dystopian, like Attack on Titan. Like, there was a previous world, and now the whole world is
let's
fucked.
not get fucking crazy.
I'm not saying
like
it's as good, but I'm just saying it's similar.
Yes,
and
for sure.
It's definitely totally absent within the first 16 episodes. I think on episode 16 is when they start coming out with the opening of the sister reading the story of Raffles 1 and actually going into a little shred of world building. And from then on out, it just, I can lick my fingers with the fucking stellar world building that comes after episode 16, dude.
Yeah, I really don't know what was going on with the first 14 to 15-ish episodes. I mean, I remember, again, like I said, I dropped it and I picked it up. I'm like, all right, I'm willing to watch this every week. And then the Vulcan arc, I guess you could call it, starts happening. I'm like, okay, something's going on here now. Something actually interesting's happening. This is all right. This is fine. I can definitely watch this. And then after that, out of nowhere, it's unbelievable. It's like, oh,
it just slaps you in the fucking face.
So cool. Oh my god, it's so ridiculous. And I guess I'll just jump right to it, at least for me. The biggest fucking thing. The Nether is definitely cool. Everything that goes down there is amazing. But really, what kicked it off for me is when Sho is actually... He'd technically been introduced in the story. He's basically since episode 1, since, he's Shinra's brother and his, entire conviction, basically. But now we know he's alive. And I think his character design is awesome. And his demeanor is so good, because it's kind of like the exact opposite of Shinra. And... we don't know exactly what happened, but it's like, okay, so he's been brainwashed to some extent by these people, and Shinra's just here like, well, this is kind of fucked up. I mean,
for
shit.
Sure.
And I am so absolutely in love with Sho's ability. Not even just so much because, it's cool that, he both obviously can control fire to some extent and then stop time in the way that he does, but, the actual science fiction, it's not really even science fiction. I mean, even though it's outrageous, there is actual scientific explanation behind his ability, and I think that is just the coolest thing ever.
The thing is, guys, Fronky is kind of a dumbass, so he hasn't watched all of JoJo's. I think he stopped at the start of part 2 like a complete and utter fool.
That is correct.
So he doesn't really know what the world is, but in JoJo, the main villain of part 3, Jotaro, the main character, gets all the way. He beats basically everybody's ass with his overpowered stand Star Platinum, and then he finally gets to the final boss, and it is a stand called the World, and it is used by Dio, and it has the ability to stop time for a limited amount of time. right? Like, totally allow the user to manipulate anything and stop time, and that's basically what Show's ability is. He just literally stops time by heating up the air around him to the extent that, like, molecules and shit don't move, I guess?
Oh, shit. Is it really actually, like, that?
I don't remember exactly what it was, but it's something along those lines. It is something along those lines, and it's really funny that you mentioned Show's design, because it is one of the few good ones. I think one of the comments...
it's so good.
One of the comments that I made in my review is that the designs in the show are very simple and plain.
Yeah. I mean, they're all wearing uniforms, you know, so it's like, okay.
Not very many individual characters stand out, and then when you combine that with the mediocre animation that was coming from those first handful of episodes, it just totally creates this disconnect. You feel like these aren't real characters and they're just some fucking NPCs from, like, a shitty Naruto filler. That's the exact words I said in my
Which they are
review.
for 15 episodes, by the way. So
because one of the biggest, like, what is it? One of the biggest faults is when they introduced Captain Shinmon and they fucking animated him like he was a background character when really he's supposed to be the mightiest fire soldier. And you see in the last episode we just watched that he's a complete and utter fucking badass.
Total badass, dude. I love him.
He's a god.
He's so good. No, he's a god.
He's really fucking good.
And while he did some crazy things in Asakusa, I believe I just nailed that. I think it is called Asakusa. While we did see him pull off some crazy ass feats, it didn't really give the feel that you would think based on what we know is actually happening, because the animation was so shitty.
Yeah, dude, it's not
and
reflective.
it still wasn't even that great. Where what he did in this last episode, I mean, yeah, okay, he is the mightiest soldier. Yes, like I 100% buy that now. It's so good.
Dude, like, it was totally, like, his introduction was totally not reflective of his title. That's so true. And you know what? Fucking... Dude, Fronky, you know what did it for this anime? You know why it suddenly got better out of nowhere, dude? And I texted you about this earlier today, but it's that fucking can of Dr. Pepper. I swear to fucking God, dude. In the last episode... I don't think it's the last episode, but the one before this, you can see the shot of, like, a can of Dr. Pepper, and it's not even a parody can. It literally says Dr. Pepper on it, I believe. I swear to God, these motherfuckers got a Dr. Pepper sponsor, and that's where they got that fat check from. And that's why the animation is so good now. I'm willing to bet, like, my left kidney on it.
I like, remember you texting me this with a picture and everything? Okay.
Dude, it's hilarious to think about.
Is this from the show?
Yes, it's from the show. There's a can of Dr. Pepper in Fire Force.
Dude, I'm looking at it right now. Dude, what?
Yeah, there's action, like, there's no parody. It says Dr. Pepper on it, doesn't it? It's a Dr. Pepper product placement.
That is... Yeah, no, I don't remember this. I don't know where this is from. You sent me this picture, like, you just sent me this out of the blue today.
Yeah.
And then you said that's how they were able to raise the animation budget. Fucking Dr. Pepper sponsor, bro. I'm like, dude, I have no idea what the fuck he's talking about right now, because I didn't know this was from Fire Force. I had no idea what this picture was.
You could see the emblem in the picture. You could see the fire emblem in the left.
Yeah, I saw that, and I'm like, dude, what does that
literally
mean?
showed
I'm
up
thinking
in
of
the
like
second to last episode.
Christianity and shit, because it's a cross, and I'm like, dude, what is
he
saying?
Literally, they got a fucking Dr. Pepper product placement.
100%. Yeah, no, I'm totally on board with that now. Just looking at this, I had no idea what this was.
Like, I swear that's what did it for him, 100%. Dude. David Productions got that fat check from Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
And now the animation is badass, and the story is badass too. They're like, oh my god, dude, we've done no world building, we haven't done anything. This is starting to get a little bit, call up Dr. Pepper. We need him right now. And as soon as they got that fat check, then they're like, okay, let's go to the Nether, introduce show, fixed. It's a great fucking anime now.
That'll do it. I mean, shit.
Dude.
Show's pretty fucking
Dr.
great,
Pepper saved the day. But I'll be real with you, Show's ability, like, it's really cool and everything, but I almost prefer Shinra's, because it's kind of an exact counter.
Well, of course, and I think that's amazing.
I think the fact that I'm so aware of the world makes me think that Show's ability was directly inspired from it, like it's literally a carbon copy, except obviously it's within the bounds of Fire Force, and they have to manipulate their third generation abilities in some way to do it. But that's probably why I didn't think Show's ability was as cool as Shinra's. I kind
Yeah,
of...
that would be really fair if everything you said about Dio is correct.
It's like literally an
that
exact
was my
carbon
first
copy.
time seeing something like that, and I remember, so like the first, it's like episode 21 is when we like get the actual explanation for how, or it's 22. Episode 22 is when we get the actual explanation as to how his ability works. But like in 21 at the end, you know, he's freezing time, he's beating the fuck out of Shinra, and what's his name? Leaked.
Licked.
Yeah.
It's like licked.
Yeah.
Or something crazy, dude.
Yeah. Whatever. He's just like sitting here, basically fangirling the entire time, and he's like breaking it down, and he's like, "Wait a minute, okay,
Shinra, you've got no chance. Run away."
Why is there steam coming off of him? What is that ice? He's talking about universe, time. There's some freezing going on. Hang on,
dude.
No fucking way." Like, and I'm just here like, wait, what is he talking about? What's he talking about? And he's just like, little by little alluding to his theory on it. And I'm like, dude, that is the coolest fucking thing ever.
Listen,
like, that's so cool.
I definitely understand your feeling, because that's the exact way I felt when I watched JoJo's through. And to this day, Star Platinum, the world, you won't get what that means, but everybody else will, because they're not heathens. Star Platinum, the world, is one of my fucking favorite things in all of fiction, just because of how cool it is. Like, not only do you have Star Platinum, but you have the world. And, yeah, you don't know what that means, but the viewers definitely will.
Don't know what it means, that's for sure.
But yeah, no, time stop ability and time manipulation ability in anime are some of the coolest ever. There's also another stand in JoJo in part 7, and it's a part of my favorite minor villain arc, and it's called Mandem, and it's Ringo Rodigan's stand, and it allows him to turn back time, like 7 seconds. So time manipulation abilities are badass, just plain and simple. So of course Sho's gonna be badass.
I mean, yeah, and just his whole demeanor towards Shinra. Like, I really enjoyed his whole, you know, Shinra comes in here, oh, well, I mean, I'm your brother. He's like, well, okay.
What does that mean?
I don't give a shit. And he's like, no, but you're not hearing me. I'm your brother. He's like, what do blood relations have to do with anything? Like, I don't give a shit. Which is, honestly, a conversation that I'd be willing to have at any time. I think it's a really good philosophical discussion, so that's just cool.
It is actually pretty fucking dope and cold.
Right, yeah.
It's really cool.
And Shinra's just here like, what do you mean? Like, well, I don't know, I thought it was, what?
To be real with you, honestly, the best fight in the Nether, like, considering the space-time continuum breaking abilities and everything, right? Because Makis Fight was the best in the Nether, hands down.
Do you think so?
Hands down.
I think we already mentioned this. Of course, I really liked Makis Fight, and I really like Maki a lot. I think she is
Her
awesome.
boobs are awesome. She's awesome.
She has purple eyes, so we got that going for me. But, I mean, I really preferred the Lieutenant's fight. 100%.
Maybe it's because... We already spoke about this a little bit prior, but
yeah,
you know how I feel. It's because, like, Maki was so competent. Like, she had no trouble beating, like, every one of their asses. That's the grievance I had with the last episode, Fronky, is that Joker shouldn't have had that much trouble with that commander dude. Like, maybe he was playing it up, but he shouldn't have had that much trouble with the commander dude. I want to see something from... I wanted to see Joker just absolutely annihilate him. Like Maki annihilated all those white-clad members, and then there was the white-clad commander who had the fire mace, and he was like, feel my giant mace! This is my ultimate ability! And then Maki was just like, okay, I'm going to fucking destroy you.
Yeah, I kind of want to know, like, what the power level differences between the commander... What is the name of the, like, underground...
The Shadows. They're the Shadows.
The Shadows. I want to know what, like, the discrepancy is between the jackass with the mace and the leader. I mean, that should be pretty good, right? Because, like, Joker was going on to say, like, how, yeah, this is, like, the elite force, and this guy's the commander of them. I don't know. It's...
But here's the thing. There's, well, huge. I've already said huge spoilers, but at the end of this episode, dude, you know who fucking showed up. The Holy Soul Temple's, like, dick sucker, Captain Burns, is showing up. Dude, if they actually go and fight Captain Burns, that's going to be crazy.
Dude, the past, like, 4 or 5 episodes have had outrageous cliffhangers.
Like, dude, is Captain Burns, like, a good guy or a bad guy? Like, we don't know.
No, he's gotta be a good guy in a pretty great way. I honestly, when I saw that, it wasn't like it was totally outside of my expectations, but when that is the way that episode ended, I was like, this could be the best thing that we've seen in Fire Force. Mm-hmm. Like his entire motive, his ambition, like this is it could be horrible. It could be some total bullshit. He could just be a fucking cuck. But if this is played correctly, if whoever the author is has some really good idea for Burns, dude, this could be some high level shit for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really hoping that and I've already liked him so far. I thought he has had some cool things when he had that little fight with Shinra and basically just beat the fuck out of him. Mm-hmm. That was super great. So I am so, and I know I'm so confident. I'm so fucking confident when this episode comes out this weekend that I'm not even sure they're going to show him. Like, it's just going to go to some other character,
some other like plot line. Sure.
Yeah, or he's just going to show up and be like, hey, stop that, and leave. Or some bullshit. Like, it's just a total teaser.
Yeah.
But I'm really hoping we get something.
There's like a 25% chance that they actually have a fight with Burns. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? But I do agree with you. They might go to another plot line, or there might just be some altercation, or maybe Burns, something crazy. Burns just, like, literally turns a blind eye and leaves and lets them do what they want to do. Wouldn't that be crazy?
I don't think that. I don't think there's any explanation for that. Something I was just thinking, too, is, like, I mean, if they did get into an all-out brawl, like, who even is the fucking winner? Mm-hmm. Like, how strong is Burns? I mean, we're talking the mightiest fire soldier, and we just saw that. That was outrageous. And Joker.
Yeah.
Who's pretty insane. So, like, what happens? Well, how strong is Burns?
The thing is, like, I'm questioning Joker's strength because of how much trouble he had with
I know.
Like, Joker had an altercation with Sho, and he got out of it scot-free, basically. He's just like, what a monster. And then, but every other time we've seen Joker, he seemed like a super competent badass, but here we are, he's getting his shit kicked in by the commander, and he has to actually dose him with psychedelic drugs to get the upper hand. That doesn't seem particularly like a strong tactic to me.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that. I mean, I would have been okay with, like, it wasn't like a total blowout fight, but, I mean, he kind of cheated.
Yeah, he kind of cheated, and also...
You know, like, it makes me believe if he didn't do that, he couldn't have won, which certainly seemed to be the case.
Also, dude, like, his third generation ability is to throw playing cards, but remember earlier in the series when he was making smoke explode? Like, where was that? Like, where was that at all?
Yeah, right?
Like, what is actually his ability? Like, why isn't he making smoke explode?
I actually thought about that. You know what's so funny is I was wondering if, like, the author, you know, wrote that in. They're like, okay, this is really cool. And then I really cannot remember the fucking name of this person. The new pillar, the one with pink hair.
Oh, yeah, that
shit.
Bitch.
So like it's not visible, I don't believe, to anyone but her, but it does kind of seem like smoke that she's drawing in and then explodes or whatever the hell it is. Like, I wonder if the author came up with that ability and he was like, it kind of seems like smoky. I don't really want to have anyone be confused or seem redundant. I don't know. It's just because it did seem like that was super cool that Joker was doing that, and then he wasn't, and I'm like, okay, well, this is the only thing I can think of why that would just be totally thrown out, especially because it's fucking overpowered and would have been useful multiple times. I mean, he's constantly smoking a cigarette, as he should be, so it's like, why didn't it happen? Is that the reason? I don't know, but that's kind of lame.
Yeah, I wasn't really happy with Joker's fight with the first commander, and then it's just like Captain Shinmon beating the fuck out of fodder. They say they're elite, but they're kind of background characters. Like, that's fodder. Do you know what I mean? They claim they're the elite guard. The only person that really mattered in that last episode was the commander, and I'm a little bit disappointed Joker had so much trouble with him, especially because he put on this whole routine that he was the lone wolf coming back to beat his ass. Like, I mean, there was so much mistreatment to him as a kid and a child. Like, dude, that moment when the guards slaughtered that family that helped him, that was so fucking crazy. I was like, oh, dude, that's dark. Like, dude, Joker's got to be pissed about that. But he really didn't seem that angry, and he let the commander kind of get a lot on him. Like, he literally let him get one on him.
Yeah, and, you know, I'll also say that, like, I'm pretty disappointed in all of the character that we actually got from the commander. I mean, this was the first time he was introduced ever. Like, we finally... Not really finally, but we get this guy's background out of nowhere, and I don't know, he just starts treating Joker like shit for no reason, really. Joker's just kind of being a badass when he's a kid, and he's just like, yeah, well, fuck this kid anyway. Fuck him. Like, yeah, he's doing a really good job. Fuck him. And it's like, okay, so there has to be some kind of explanation as to why he's behaving in this way. And then there's just
an
not.
asshole. He's just an asshole.
It's he's just a cunt.
He's like actually just an asshole.
Okay, and so I'd like to like have Joker be in this gray area where like the commander is a total asshole to him, but there's some really good explanation for it. Like he's trying to do it for Joker's own good, and Joker just can't see that. But no. Like, it's just the guy's a cunt, so Joker's like, alright, well, fuck this. I mean shit.
Really, he's like, kind of an insignificant character. He shows up for one episode and dies in one episode, and the only the only redeeming thing about the altercation between Joker and the Commander is that Joker chopped him up into little fucking bits and pieces. Yeah. That was the only redeeming thing.
Yeah, it ended with him being dead, thank God.
That was the first, like, the first, like, fucking Mortal Kombat style ending to a fight in Fire Force, to my knowledge, right? Like, he actually cut him up in a bunch of bits and pieces, and that's pretty dark for Fire Force, so that was the only really redeeming thing about that fight. But like, unless you want to go on, I don't really want to talk about current stuff anymore. I want to make a comment on, like, one of my favorite things about the series, like, when it got good. Do you mind if I make a comment?
Yeah. No, absolutely do that, and then I have just one last thing I want to do as a closing topic, so definitely
for sure.
Send it.
Okay, so, like, one of my favorite parts in the series where it really just started getting super interesting to me is when it wasn't just about going after the evangelist faction anymore. Like, at first, there's this clear enemy that shows up who produces artificial human combustion, like, through insects and everything. It's like, oh, that's the clear enemy, but really they venture outside of the country and go to the tabernacle. And the tabernacle arc was fucking really cool and intriguing to me when they found out that they were actually using humans to power the power plants, basically. It became kind of clear to me what was going on, and you start to realize that the true enemies are kind of the top dogs, like the people who create the government, who run the government. And it's dude, this is basically my entire just like prediction for the show, is that there is just this entire sect of people who are in power in the remainder of Tokyo who are probably responsible for the Great Cataclysm, might have even done it on purpose. And then here's the thing, they definitely did it on purpose, bro. Listen. They definitely are just okay with the fact that people are being set on fire, because it's definitely like some sort of equivalent exchange. Like, people are being set on fire and they're using pillars to power these large power plants because they feel like it's a good exchange to have this perfect society that they have, right? They don't like how the world was before, how there were so many different religions. They don't like how, there were so many different powers. They just wanted it all in one main power. So what they did, they basically blew up the fucking world, and then they found some system where they could use these pillars to create these, like, these no-risk power plants. Like, imagine a nuclear power plant with literally no drawbacks, except that you have to use a human sacrifice. And then they just made, like, a perfect society, and as a result of that, people just combust spontaneously, and they're just okay with that, and they want to keep it that way. That's literally my prediction for the entire plot of the show, and the fucking tabernacle arc was so fire and interesting. And that's basically what I have to say, dude. I love the tabernacle arc.
Fire.
Yeah, dude, it was so fire. It was so fire. It was flames.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, fuck. The whole thing I wanted to go into after that was basically how we think that the series is going to continue after the most recent episode, what we're expecting for the future. But we're basically already there, because that's what you're talking about. I mean, yeah, I definitely think that's the case. We know that the tabernacle is being powered by the White Lady. Is that what they call her?
Yeah, she's like a previous pillar. She was like an older
right, lady. Or like the original or something. And then we know... the
thing is that it's so fucking weird that there is a power plant there. Like, we still don't have an explanation for that. Why a power plant even exists there. Like, there has to be some kind of history or lore to that. Like, there was a previous civilization. Like, because I don't think Tokyo has jurisdiction over there. There's just, like, a power plant chilling. Or perhaps, like, the witch lady actually made that power plant. Like, Wait, I think that was answered, actually. Did she make the fucking power plant? I know she entered it and, like, used herself as a sacrifice.
So, it was, like, implied that she was responsible for its existence, but it doesn't really add up.
Like, how was it built? Like, how the fuck did they build the power plant?
So, the animals, I don't remember the name of the mole or the raven or whatever, or the crow, whatever the fuck that thing was, but they were like, yeah, she came... And next thing you know, we have this tabernacle, and there's an oasis, and it's a good time. So it's like, okay, so she created it. But then when, like, Shinra's interacting with her and whatnot, it's like she's totally against the evangelist's plans and everything. So I'm not really clear.
It kind of is implied that she went in there voluntarily, but we don't know that for sure. We really don't know that for sure. It's kind of implied that she went in there voluntarily to create the forest and keep the animals protected, but it's still, I don't think it was answered, like, where the fucking tabernacle came from, dude. And that's why I like the tabernacle arc so much, is because it's full of mystery. It's like the first part that kind of makes me think about the whole grand scheme of things. Like, do you like the tabernacle arc? Because I fucking love it.
Oh, it's great. And I'm super excited to find out about what is pi in this context? What does pi mean? Like, so, and it was just such great comedy that Arthur was like, oh, that are you guys getting this? I mean, it's pi.
Yeah,
obviously.
Dude, the biggest dumbass.
What's the question here? that was amazing. I was so taken off guard by that. I still think it's hilarious.
Yeah, dude, the tabernacle arc was fire. But besides that, back to what you wanted to do as a close. Where we think the series is going to go from here on out. I made my big prediction for, like, the entire series and how I feel about it. But from the last episode, we need to probably make a prediction from the last episode. I feel like is appropriate. Where do we think it's going to come from there? Well, dude, Shinmon and Joker aren't going into this fucking Holy Soul temple for nothing. Like, not for shits and giggles. They're going to find what they're looking for, I believe. And then
they might die or something.
Dude, one of them
Please
might die.
Don't.
One of them might die.
Yeah, and I don't think it'll be Joker, if anything.
Dude, the one thing I'm not even going to try to guess about is, like, what's going to happen with Burns. I can't even hope to guess what's going to go on with Burns.
That's what I'm saying. Well, that really should be, in my opinion at least, that should be either the end of it all or some other thing that we can't predict yet because we don't have enough information. Like, either he's gonna wipe one of them out and the other's gonna escape, or he's gonna be like, all right, come with me. Like, I don't know.
I don't know what's gonna happen either. But is there gonna be, like, a third season of this, or do you think they're gonna wrap this up this second season? Like, how big is this shit? Like,
I'm pretty sure it's ongoing.
Like, it's ongoing in the manga?
I believe so. Yeah. That's my understanding.
Okay. Well, I didn't know. I went to the wiki to look at a summary of the show to help me write my opening summary for my video, and there's like 126 chapters or something. But I didn't know if it was ongoing.
I could be wrong. I'm
We're gonna
not
have to
sure,
double check that.
I thought
really
it's ongoing.
To know, because to be honest with you, the way things are kind of unraveling now, they're revealing quite a bit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It does seem like, I mean, it's gone from going at 0 miles per hour to fucking 100.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
So,
like,
I don't know how much they could do, but
like,
to be honest, like, I thought that in chapter 50 of Attack on Titan we were coming to a close, and now we're at like 120, and I never know if it's gonna end.
Oh, gotcha. So it's like after the ocean, like across the ocean type B. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, that's when it's like every arc in Attack on Titan, you realize, oh, we're not even halfway done, and it's like, so I don't know.
But we are actually coming too close because the last and final season is coming out later this year.
Oh yeah, that is correct, and I'm so fucking excited about that. That I honestly should make a video just about how hype I am for Attack on Titan.
Hey, knock your fucking self out, kid. Go ahead, you should do it.
In the entire time on screen is just me talking over a fan art of Eren Yeager's penis.
Okay, well that's a little bit suspect.
No, if you knew what I knew, you would agree.
You guys can take that with what you will. But I you know what? I might feel the same way after I get caught up with it, because I remember when you told me to pick Attack on Titan manga up, and I was like, and then I read it, and I was like, this is one of the best fucking stories in all of fiction.
Absolutely outrageous.
Like, it's one of the best fucking stories in all of fiction. It's crazy. I literally have been watching Attack on Titan since day one, and then they had that whole drought where we didn't get an anime for like fucking 4 or 5 years or something crazy. Like,
yeah, it was 4 fucking years.
So then I just stopped watching Attack on Titan, and then Fronky was like, dude, you just gotta read the manga. Like, it's one of the craziest fucking things ever. And I picked it up and I got caught up, and dude, my dick was so hard. Like, it's one of the best stories in all of fiction.
I mean, it'd be a wreck for months after that.
It's crazy. But yeah, basically, maybe my final prediction is I just think they're going to get the Holy Soul Scriptures. What they do with those scriptures, like, is really going to set things in motion. And I really don't know how much is left, but I assume that we're going to find out the secrets of basically everything this season. And if they don't wrap it up this season, like, if there's going to be more seasons, or if this anime is ongoing, which we're going to have to fact check that after this video, I believe that the only thing that's going to keep it going is probably going to be, like, the evangelist. You know what I mean? Like, they have to take care of the evangelist and, like, get show and everything. So I feel like that's probably maybe going to have enough substance and content for a third season. But then again, I can't really speak on that accurately because I don't know what the state of this show is in, or the manga for that instance. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about Fire Force.
Yeah, so that's our 2 takes on at least what we expect from the future. So what I would like to say then at the end of this is, so I'm not necessarily I've talked to multiple people about this. I'm not necessarily recommending Fire Force, because I believe that if I am to recommend a series, it should be good the entire way through. Like, for example, I would not recommend Code Geass to anyone, even though it's one of my favorite shows, even though I think the ending is the greatest ending in the history of fiction as far as I have seen. I would not recommend it because it's probably not worth getting there, honestly. And Fire Force is kind of like that. I mean, fuck. I can't tell someone to watch 15 episodes of filler.
The greatest ending, and it's still not worth watching. That's a little bit fucking retarded.
What if it was 1,500 episodes, and it only gets good in the last episode?
That's an exexaggeration. I'd be willing to watch 60 episodes at least for the greatest ending in all of fiction.
Sure, but I think that every episode should at least be decent. And the first 15 episodes of Fire Force, honestly, are not even decent at all. So I wouldn't recommend it, but I will say that I do think if you did end up getting through, you'd be happy that you did. So that is my 2 cents on whether or not you should watch it. But okay, we are going on. We're getting close to 40 minutes here, so I think we've said a significant amount about our opinions and predictions on Fire Force. So hopefully you enjoyed this video a little bit longer, which I know some people don't like, and I 100% would agree with you because that is my particular taste as well. But a lot of people actually like long videos too. So to those people, there you go. We got a long video. We got a discussion video, and it's about Fire Force, which is basically the best anime of all time, of course. So you're welcome. But yeah, maybe watch Fire Force, maybe don't. It's pretty decent. Wouldn't recommend it, but I think you'd be happy if you watched it. Remember remember to check out Gannon's channel.
Sir.
Again, yes, absolutely. Telling you, if you have seen a decent amount of my videos, and honestly, maybe people watching this haven't because I don't really talk about Fire Force on my channel, but if you have, if you are one of my subscribers, you know what my videos are like, and I think you'll go over and be like, you know, this, I feel like I'm watching a Fronky video, except it's just strictly better.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Thank you.
Right, exactly,
of course. But yeah,
of course,
quickly
of course.
mention the thumbnail.
Hit it.
Not the thumbnail, mention the banner.
Okay, yeah, you want me to mention the banner?
Yeah, I want you to mention the banner.
Oh, okay, I'll mention the banner, yeah. So, I did just, so maybe you've seen the banner on my channel. It's pretty fucking awesome. It's One Piece theme-ish, and it's really accurate. It talks about how I upload on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, which, of course, is exactly what I do every week with no exception. But Gannon decided that he thought maybe it could be a little bit updated. It's not quite modern. So he came out with a new thumbnail, or not a thumbnail, as he just confused me, a banner for my YouTube channel. And it's pretty fire. It's actually, it kind of has a old banner theme. It reminds you of it for sure if you know what it looked like. But now it is updated, considering I've watched like 400% more shows than I had when the original banner was made. So it's pretty cool.
I would like to think.
Props to him.
I would like to
for
think
making it for me.
It symbolizes your return because you have obviously had a drought of videos. I'm sure your viewers understand this.
What?
Yeah, no, you've had a drought of videos, and I would just
Really?
I would just like to let everybody know that we're behind the scenes and we're gonna be getting to work. All right. That's all I'm gonna say.
That is correct. So definitely be excited for more Fronky videos. Be excited for some Gannon videos, and if you're not, well, fuck you.
Kiss
Okay,
my
because
ass.
you should be. Right, exactly.
All right.
Fuck you. So do that. Alrighty, but we have had enough. It's been a long enough video, so let's wrap this up. If you enjoyed this video, remember to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Remember to definitely leave a comment letting us know what you thought about the video. If you liked it, you didn't like it, why you liked it, why you didn't like it, any other things you have to say. Have you seen Fire Force? Have you not? Just anything you want to comment, definitely do that. With that all being said, I hope you guys have an excellent rest of your day, a great month of October, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.